Good morning and welcome to a new video. So today is video 13 and today I'm in Belper. Belper is a small town in Derbyshire, but it's very touristy. However, I'm only here for a couple of hours, so I'm going to show you as much as I can, as quick as I can, but I'm starving and I need a coffee. So first things first, let's go and sort that out. So that is the number 28. That looks like it's some sort of music venue. I've never actually been in there though, so maybe in the future it needs to go on my bucket list. But look how nice this square looks. It does look a bit bizarre with the cars driving around and stuff, and there are a lot of pubs around here as well, but this is really cool. Also, what I saw as well when I was walking down the hill is you get a great view straight away as you walk into Belper, so I'm going to share that with you as well. Like, how nice is that? It looks straight into the countryside when you get here. I mean, this place looks really cool. I've got to admit, it does look really cool. I mean, behind me there, look, the building looks really rough, but other than that, the place in front where I'm heading now looks really cool. So let's make most of these next couple of hours and let's see what we can find. I just love these clocks. So this is the War Memorial Garden, and it looks really well looked after and well maintained in here. Like I said, I've got to be as quick as possible as I'm getting round here to show you as much as I can in such a short space of time. But look how neat and tidy this looks. Look how well looked after it is. So Belper's already good at giving like really good clean vibes about the place. So yeah, I wish I had more time really to check this out and give it a proper look round. So the place is known for having a lot of tourists and stuff coming here, and this is obviously one of the little tourist spots to take your kids. And walking down into the street and everything. So I'm a little bit surprised at the moment. I thought I'd have seen more sort of independent shops and stuff like that, but we'll keep looking around and we'll see what we can find. So this looks like a really cool place. Really like that. And Belper's got its own little record shop and that. So we might check that out. So I did just nearly get knocked over by a bus. This confuses me a little bit, this. Do you know the shopping precinct on here where the cars can come up and down? Normally in a lot of places that would be for pedestrians only, so you've got to keep your wits about you. So I walked down here looking for the record shop. Oh, it's here. It's just an house, which is really cool. Oh no, it's not. That's a barber's, so I don't know where the record shop is. But right by here, the train lines. I mean, it does say record shop there, and it does say barbers there. Oh, the record shop is upstairs. So it's upstairs, but look how cool this one looks. Amazing. So, the record shop is right up these steps. This is a really cool and quirky place. So, I've just been at record shop. Really cool, really quirky. It is just basically records and a few cassettes and stuff. I don't actually have a record player. I just thought there might have been a CD or something to bang in car and that, but the guy was really nice. The shop is really cool. If you're a collector and you're in Belper, then definitely go in there and check it out. So over there you've got the pub, the Bottle Bank, but it's really cool. You look at it. Look at the building as well. The building's really cool. I hope you see many great buildings here while I'm here. There's a lot of pubs here. Every other building seems to be a pub, which if you want to go and get smashed, it probably is the place for you. So down from here is the railway. The building's not as impressive, but the paint job looks pretty good. Although that is a very impressive building. I really like that. I really do. Although it is an hair and beauty store, but it's better to have these maintained than nothing at all. nothing worse is there than seeing all these like amazing buildings. I know some end up being like an hair and beauty salon like that, and some being like Weatherspoons and that, but it's better than the alternative of getting them closed down, because we need to, you know, keep these great historic buildings open. We really do. I love a building, me. I love places like York, Lincoln, Norwich, Leeds, Birmingham, Sheffield, because they've got some great buildings. And I'm going to Budapest in a couple of days, and I'm also off to Turkey, so I'm hoping to like experience some great buildings there too. So I am trying to show you how cool like some of these buildings are. However, because of the traffic, lorries and that keep coming past and ruining my picture. So I found another pub. It's called the Lion. So this place is very English, by the way. Old school English though. So look at that building across there, the house. Look how cool that looks. However, what we do have there is a little lunchbox. So let's go and get some food. Right, so I've just paid £6.50 for a coffee and a sausage sandwich. The sausage sandwich were £4.50 and the coffee were £2. I walked down this side street and come out of like Belper Town football ground, I think it is. Get a bit closer, but the view's quite nice. So I'm going to sit here for 5 and enjoy. So yeah, that's my current view. Look at the grass looks really cool. And then the sandwich, sausage sandwich with brown sauce. They look quite well done, them sausages, but we'll see what's what. The coffee tastes good though. Right, that sandwich were a 9.5 out of 10. That sandwich was so good. When I looked at it, I weren't entirely sure how good it would be, but it tasted amazing. And the coffee's a good solid 9.5 out of 10 as well. So it was worth the £6.50. So it is Belper Town, but look at the view. I've never been to a football game here, but looking at that view means I might just have to. So look at that for a building. And do you know what that is? That's the actual library. How cool is that? So apparently here there's 250 like little tourist things you need to check out. I ain't gonna have time to do that because I've got about an hour left of walking round. But I am surprised a little bit. I haven't seen sort of like as much as I thought I'd see so far. However, there is the Methodist church across from there, so we'll go and check that out for 2 minutes. So there you do have the Belper Methodist church. Right in there is like a monument there, really cool. I'm trying to show you as much as I can, but obviously the cars make it quite difficult. Then there's a cottage there, but that's a really cool building. As I've sort of mentioned already, it says there's 250 cool spots in Belper, and I'll show you as much as I can within like this 2-hour time frame. So one of my favourite places in Derby is Book Cafe. I did not know that they had one here right in Belper. I've only just ate and had that coffee, so it's probably not going to be a good idea to go in, unfortunately. But look how cool it is and all the seating area outside. I'm a bit gutted now, although the food I did get from an independent was really nice, so I'm not disappointed because it were really good. So Belper so far, for me personally, it's got some good vibes. It's like an old English town with lots of great buildings. The locals seem friendly enough. It is very busy though. There's a lot of cars around, more cars than people. So foot traffic is completely fine, but in terms of like traffic, there's a lot of cars. It is a Wednesday, so imagine it on a Saturday. It could be really annoying, I guess. But the place itself is really nice, so it's definitely worth a visit. So I don't know the relevance really to why I'm saying this, but this just sort of reminds me of Buxton with the Morrisons being at the bottom of the hill. Well, look at that in the background, so nice. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's like somebody's back garden. That's really cool. And what we got here, other than a coffee shop, there's a lot of coffee shops around here, which is really cool because I love my coffee. But look how nice this looks. This is stunning. Look at the building and look at the little... So there's this great building here. So shall we take a look inside and see what's what? There is a coffee shop here. And I wonder what else there is. Obviously it must be some sort of like visitor centre because it's got all the visitor leaflets and that. But look how nice the building is there. And look how nice this is as well. Beautiful little area. And over there you've got the Edinburgh Woolen Mill. Obviously it's an old mill. And then you come out Aldi and there's Morrison's again, look. Like I said, I like to walk around in circles. I don't mean to, I just always seem to. But again, look at this Greenland. That is superb. And I've just noticed that on the way out as well. That looks like an old sort of like Spanish, Greek, Italian building with the lamp on there. That's really cool, I really like it. So, my last video with the one in Chesterfield. Now, I said in that video I would plan videos better in the future. This one isn't planned. I woke up literally this morning and decided, like 5 minutes before I left the house, that I was going to come to Belper. Originally, I was going to go to Burton-upon-Trent. However, that's like another 30 minutes down the road and I've got to get back to where I work at 2 p.m. So, because I didn't set off till like 10 a.m, that ruled that one out of the question. But I'm glad to be here and it looks really cool. And I'm going to Budapest and I'm going to Izmir and I have a few things planned. It probably will go very wrong because it's me, but I've at least got an idea of what I want to film. So this is just a quick one, just to make sure I've got some content up. And also it's my first time in Belper, so why not? I'm just going to enjoy it for a little bit. So this is probably a really, really cool place to come at night because all the bulbs and that are there. When that's lit up, probably looks really cool. We won't be here tonight. Like I said, I've got to leave shortly. But it's really cool anyway. So, I do feel it's really bad in terms of cars and that around here, which is a little bit off-putting, as I mentioned. And the van behind me, the driver has just literally turned around to me and said, oh, it's a nightmare here, absolute nightmare. Because I think he's struggling to get parked and unload and all that sort of stuff. And obviously we need vans, we need lorries and all that sort of stuff to make sure we can transport stuff from place to place. The traffic lights, as you just heard, never seem to stop going off and they beep very loudly. Other than that, it's really cool. So there are a few quirky shops knocking around, like this one, Funky Dory. So definitely check them out if you've got time, if you're in Belper. There's still all the things you expect to see in the normal towns and the normal cities. There's still the vape shops, there's still the Turkish barbers, there's still the Poundlands, etc. There's still all of those things. There's a lot of chip shops here as well though. So this one right behind me called C&F. So if I'd not just had that bacon sandwich, I might have fancied a bit of fish and chips, but we can't be greedy, can we? Anyway, let's crack on with it. So when you see these, normally you always know that you're walking around a place what looks quite nice. I don't know why, it's just that every single place, like little town or little village what has one of these, always seems to be quite scenic. So the train station is up this road. I am going to go back down though and walk that way because I've just seen a pub what looks really, really cool. And we can't miss that out of the video because that looks like one of the coolest buildings I've seen so far. So the train station's down here somewhere. As you can see, this massive car park. By the way, I paid £3.80 for my parking. That's for 4 hours. I could have actually got away with paying £2 for 2 hours. But yeah, let's head for the train station, check out and see where it goes. My guess is that you can get to places like Derby, Nottingham, maybe Sheffield. Although I've never seen a train from Sheffield go through Belper. But maybe places like Matlock and other places into the Peak District. We will see. I've got to find the train station first. Right, so I've just walked quite far back to where I've just come from. I can't see it, so we'll try and find that near the end because my eyes are still set on that amazing pub building I've just seen. So we're going to head there first and then we'll tackle everything else after. So I am trying to get you nice shots at street and stuff, but the traffic is so busy and it just ruins it a little bit, unfortunately, but what can you do? So there's another pub. Look at the building for that. That's the Devonshire. Look how nice that looks. It's probably pricey as well, but look how nice it looks. And there's a building what looks amazing right by the side of it, so we'll check that out too. So that's the Baptist church, but look at that for some building. Incredible. Like I said, the traffic's so busy you can't get the best shots, but it's right next to the pub there. But look at that for a building. I am so impressed with that building. And then I've run across the road, and you'll not be surprised to say I've found another pub and another great building. This time it's the Rifleman's Arms. There's some history in this place. Like everywhere though, unfortunately it's still got a few rundown buildings. As nice as the place is, it's still got the odd one, although it's not full of them, which is a good thing. Although, didn't speak too soon, because that looks like it was an old pub. Lord Nelson, that looks like it was. Hopefully they can get that back up and running, because that's a great building as well. So look how nice that street looks. I love that. That reminds me of when I went to Ebden Bridge a couple of years ago. We must visit there again this year and do a video there. Definitely. I weren't doing videos at that time, but Ebden Bridge is a great place, and that sort of reminds me of it. So this seems to be the area where all the boarded up buildings seem to be. But look at that again, it's a really good building. It obviously needs a bit of work in that, but if they can sort this out and get this up and running, then that could look really cool again. I really hope they can. So just to add, the building, the shop in there is actually open. It's just boarded up. So unfortunately that's not cool for somebody's business. So I hope she gets back on her feet, and I hope that all works out. Here you have a old bank building. I do really like these old bank buildings. You still see them around, and they just need to be used a little bit more. And you won't be shocked to hear I've found another pub. This time, the Georgian Dragon. So again, okay, the sign needs some repair work, but look at the building again. And it's really cool that all these pubs are still open in the day where a lot of pubs are shutting down. So it's cool to see them still open. Again, look how cool this looks. I don't know why I'm so fascinated. You get a lot of places what look like this, but I just really like it. And there you've got another great building, and another great building. And behind it, what seems to be like some sort of football ground. Okay, so I'm confused. So that says it's Belper Town football ground behind it. I thought I was already at Belper football time. However, I do know Belper has two football teams, so one must have been the other place. Actually, when you look at that, that looks really nice for a football ground. I must have been behind there somewhere. It must have been like the youth pitch or somewhere like that. But that looks really cool. Look at the views again. I definitely have to come here and check a football match out in the summer. There'll be loads of friendlies and stuff and that knocking around, so I should be able to come and get. But yeah, that's really cool. So you've got this bit, what's called the triangle. It isn't much of a triangle like, but it is a really cool little space. I do like it, but it ain't a triangle, is it? Let's face facts. And if you've ever walked between Matlock Bath and Cromford, you will walk past one of these, designed by Arkwright. And that's like at the top of Matlock Town, where you've got that little cool thing as well, like the little bridge thing. So yeah, let's head back into the town centre. So instead of walking by the main road, I'm going to walk up this. They call it Long Row, and it's all like cobbled and everything, but it looks a bit more scenic and a bit less busy. But as soon as I do that, a van comes reversing out, so I hadn't avoided that either. Yeah, so look how nice this looks. Really beautiful, this. Really is beautiful. The one thing I've noticed about Belper though, I'm not sure if it's the people who were from Belper or that, there's a lot of bad drivers here. A lot of bad drivers. So be careful when you're walking around in that, because like I said, there's a lot of bad drivers who are just reversing out and not looking. So I've just come across this here on the railway bridge. Look how nice it looks. This is really cool. And as you can see, quite a good view across the railway bridge as well. So now I've reached the top of this hill. Look at the view I'm getting. Beautiful. So now it's just a small matter and remembering where I parked the car. Because I see something out of the corner of my eye and I just wander off. And I'm like, oh, I've got to check that out. Now I've just seen another church and I'm like, oh, I've got to check that out. Hopefully that's in the direction. Because at the moment, I'm just sort of walking around the housing estates, which are very beautiful, by the way. So I don't actually mind. So you could definitely spend a full day here. There's plenty to do. There's plenty of places to walk around. There's plenty of nice buildings to see. There's plenty of cafes. There's plenty of pubs. A lot of nice scenery. So you could definitely spend a full day here. I'm only here for like 2 hours and I'm showing you as much as I possibly can. And I'm impressed already. I could have definitely spent the full day here. So there you have St. Peter's Church. But it is very overgrown, look. So it's not that well maintained, this one. So definitely need to get the council out and get the gardener on it. Because that's very, very overgrown. Shame to see, really. Bear's Cottage. I wonder if Paddington lives there. And then look at that for a piece of history. The Uterian Sunday School, 1721 to 1855. I think they did try and turn this into a pub, but it don't look like it's open anymore, which is a great shame. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's open, but that's one of the best buildings I've come across today, so hopefully they can make some good use of that and not knock it down, because that places like this give places like Belper such great history. I'm not just meaning just Belper, I mean places everywhere. So history is very important. So you won't be surprised for me to say that I may be lost, although I've just looked in front of me and the memorial garden's right in front of me, but I think that might be a different entrance to the one I went in earlier. I mean, look, it's the correct entrance. I did miss something from the garden, so I'm just going to show you them because I think these look really cool and I didn't spot them earlier. So look how cool these barrels look. I really do like that. Adds so much character to the place. And you'll not be surprised that there's another pub there. That's more of a bar, that one. That's different. Don't know what it is like, but it's different. Right, so I'm going to finish where I started. So thank you very much for watching. There is another pub up there, by the way. Up there, that's called the Nag's Head. But my car's over there somewhere. So we're going to head back for car. Got to head to work. Then I've got to head to Meadow Hall and try and get some Hungarian money and some Turkish money, because that's where I'll be next week. About this time next week though, I should be in the sky on my way to Turkey if all goes to plan. But it's me, so nobody knows whether anything's going to go to plan or not. My final thoughts about Belper. Well, I really like it. I think it's got some great buildings. It's got a lot of nice cafes, a lot of nice pub, a great memorial in the middle of the town. It's very old school English. It's very well looked after. Yeah, there's a couple of sort of boarded up buildings and that, like there is everywhere else, but the character of the place is pretty incredible. As I've just seen down there, there's another pub called Cross Keys. So if you're thirsty, you ain't gonna run out of places to drink. If you're hungry, you ain't gonna run out of places to eat. There's a fair few chippies here as well. There's a lot of pubs here. There's a lot here. You could spend the full day here 100%. I wish I was here longer. The only downside to it is it's still got its shady characters like everywhere. Not that many, it appears, but it's still got them. But that's not the biggest downside, because that's everywhere. The biggest downside is the traffic. The traffic is just so busy. It gets quite annoying, but what can you do? It's like when you go to the Cotswolds. Cotswolds, beautiful, but the traffic sort of ruins it. But you can't do anything about it, I suppose. And if it's bringing tourism into places, keeping people in jobs, keeping things open, then it's just one of them things you've got to suck up. Right, so thank you very much for watching. This has been video 13. This has been Belper. And the next time you see me, I'll be on my way to Budapest.